Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate those who have hit that subscribe button. We're currently sitting at 450 subscribers and slowly climbing. I appreciate those who have sparked interest in this solar yellow SRT-4 build. It actually has been sitting outside for the past month because the axle seal has been leaking. So in this video, I'm going to be replacing the driver's side and passenger side axle. This will be my experience of replacing those. So let's get into it. We have a 21 millimeter nut and also bolt head. Undo that. So you want to undo them to the point where the head is kind of flush here. So you can actually smack them out without damaging any type of threads. Your axle free, and then once you pop the axle out, then you can replace the seal. And as you can see, from just sitting there, it's already leaking. There we go. All right, so here's my axle. Driver's side, and I ran to AutoZone and I picked up two tools that will help me in this job. This is the axle seal remover. Just put it inside the trans, pull it all around till it pops out, and then this will be the axle seal seater. You just kind of use the adapter on whatever size seal you have and punch it in evenly. So these will help me for this job. All right, so I got the axle out. Let's use this axle seal puller and pull this old seal out.
Now, just a heads up, there's a thin piece of the transmission that the axle seal rests up against. You have to make sure you don't put the puller behind that because you will damage it. As you can see here, I just got out the face of the axle seal. The rest is still inside.
All right, so the axle seal is in. You can see it there. And I actually wound up using the 2.47 axle seat to get a better surface area on the axle seal. All right, now that the axle seal is in, it's time to reverse everything and put the axle in. Okay, you heard that click. I'll show you. So once you hear that click, your axle is pretty much seated. All right, then once your axle is seated, just work its way back into the knuckle or the hub. All right, so the axle nut bolt is 180 foot-pounds. Shove a screwdriver into the rotor. All right, so on the passenger side, pretty much the same concept. Now the passenger axle will come right out of the intermediate shaft.
Here you just want to use a flathead screwdriver and a mallet to pry the axle off the half shaft.
Now you have your intermediate shaft, and there's 2 bolts that are holding the carrier. You're going to take those 2 bolts out, and that'll be your half shaft, and then you can replace the axle seal from there. All right, so with the intermediate shaft bolts, carrier bolts removed, now you can just pull the intermediate shaft right out. And now the same thing with the passenger side. You can see there the axle seal. Just gonna pry that out with the tool and then throw the new one in. So the passenger side is much more difficult to do than the driver's side just because of the location that it's in and everything that's in the way. I wound up using extensions and a large socket instead of that tool there that I used on the driver's side. I wound up using the extensions and a large socket. Luckily enough, on the passenger side, the seal itself was easier to sit and go in compared to the driver's side. But overall, if you can do the seals like I should have done while the transmission is out, definitely do that. So the carrier bushing bracket, the 2 bolts, are 150 inch-pounds. All right, now I'm going to refill my transmission fluid. There's a fill plug here. Oh, and you just fill until it starts dripping. All right, once you see that it's actively spewing out, go ahead, plug it up. All right, so that was me finishing up installing both driver and passenger axle seal on my 2003 Solo Yellow SRT-4. There's always a right way, there's always a wrong way. That was my way of installing it. So I hope this video finds someone and gives them a little bit of help out there. Stay tuned for the next video. I do have BC coilovers that I will be installing on this car. I also have ACR BBS wheels that I got freshly powder coated along with brand new Azenis RT615 tires that are going to be going on this car, so we can finally start tracking this thing hopefully this summer and shake down the car and see if there's anything else that it needs. I'm going to take this car for a test drive, make sure there's no leaks after I filled everything up. Everything looked good so far, but I'm going to drive it for a little bit, make sure everything's good. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate those who have. Take care. See you in the next one.